aggressive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? And welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream and day 8 of the January transfer window. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. As always, we have got a packed show in store. Chelsea's interest in Kobbie Mainoo is absolutely legit, although right now it is just interest at this point in time. I'm going to dive into all the latest of perhaps one of the surprise stories of January, which I don't think anyone would have expected. The latest of Chelsea and Kobbie Mainoo. Crystal Palace do not want to sell Marc Guehi this month, and Chelsea are prepared for a tough pursuit of the England international. We've also got the latest with outgoings. There is nothing serious with Christopher Nkunku and PSG, but Nkunku could potentially leave this month. Napoli are pushing very hard to sign Cesare Casadei. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall is free to leave Chelsea if a suitable offer for both player and club is received. We've also got the latest on Renato Veiga, who is attracting interest from Bournemouth and Wolves. Axel Disasia's Chelsea will listen to offers for the centre-back. And, of course, we've got the latest on Andre Santos as well, who has been earmarked to be part of the squad for next season, meaning that, as we covered yesterday, it is very unlikely that Chelsea are going to recall Santos to plug any gaps in midfield currently. But big up to everyone that's locked in. Smash the like, subscribe, all that good stuff, as I said. Let's say hello to a few people in the chat, and then we will dive into the show. I don't see Mainoo leaving Man United. If we can't get Guehi, just recall Chalobah. Yeah, does anybody really think that he would want to come to Chelsea? He's negotiating a new contract that probably includes a big salary. Yeah, no, for sure. Bournemouth are crumbling. Both their strikers are out against Chelsea. Yeah, they are. No Evanderson and no Unal either. January it is hard to get players for sure. Sort of rumours that we're looking at as potentially going for Nuno Mendes. This like the injury history, but I guess that's why we're seeing that we may sell Veiga. Again, Veiga could be loan. I don't know if Veiga would be permanent, but there are strong possibilities that Veiga could leave the club despite only joining 6 months ago, which seems a bit mad. Yes, big up. Yes, afternoon, brother. Hope you are doing well. Let's dive into it, though, because I've done a video yesterday afternoon just kind of covering the breaking news that Chelsea were leading the race to sign Kobbie Mainoo if he decides to leave Manchester United. There have been a lot more developments on the Kobbie Mainoo story as such. And we will begin with Chelsea and Kobbie Mainoo, guys. Chelsea hold Mainoo in high regard at Stamford Bridge, and he is on a list of possible transfer targets, but it is no more than that right now. Obviously, as I covered in the video yesterday, Mainoo is currently negotiating a new contract with Manchester United. It's very likely agent talk, or is talk coming from the club. I don't know which one, in an attempt to try and get him a better deal. Obviously, Mainoo and United are believed to be at a bit of a stalemate in contract negotiations. I mean, he's still got 2.5 years left to run on his existing Man United contract, so they're not exactly in a rush to get things sorted. But Chelsea do hold Mainoo in high regard, and he is on a list of potential transfer targets. Again, Jamie Jackson, who's a Man United reporter, has added a bit more here as well, that Kobbie Mainoo has been discussed at Chelsea, who have not ruled out moving for him, but their interest is yet to advance. Manchester United will listen to serious offers for him. And I think what United are finding now, like with Chelsea, is that their academy players, they are up for sale. They're not untouchable. United, I think, are in far, far worse financial issues than maybe a lot of people initially thought. They haven't got much money to spend. They do need to sell players. And as we know, in these days of PSR, there are, academy players are so important to football clubs in terms of value, the pure profit element, and all that side of things. What we're going to do is, though, guys, we are going to dive into a David Ornstein article about Kobbie Mainoo and Man United, and then we're going to get into something about Simon Johnson and Chelsea's interest in Mainoo. Look, for people that says never going to happen, never say never in football. I'm fully aware that it is highly unlikely, but with Chelsea, and just with football in general, always be prepared to expect the unexpected. Manchester United will reluctantly consider sale of homegrown talents like Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho to help comply with financial rules. United not actively looking to trade the pair, but neither untouchable if suitable offers will arrive. So the fact that they're not untouchable is, goes to show that, yeah, do you know what? These guys are for sale. But I'm also fully aware, guys, that any potential Chelsea move for Kobbie Mainoo is still a long way off. I still think the preference is to renew at United and to obviously stay there. He's only 19 years of age. But if a deal can't be agreed, if a suitable offer came in, United would be prepared to sell Mainoo. There's no denying that. Yes, of course, Mainoo's wages, he's believed to want 200 grand a week. Well, he obviously wouldn't get that at Chelsea. Absolutely no chance. But let's dive into this Ornstein article. Man United would reluctantly consider selling homegrown players such as Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho. The club are not actively looking to sanction the exit of either talent, but the reality of their situation means the possibility cannot be discounted if suitable offers arrived. They both came through United's youth step up. Mainoo, 19, is among those who would represent pure accounting profit if they were to ever be sold. But this is why they are not regarded as untouchable, and the same applies for most of the first team squad. Both appear to form part, so they're both part of Ruben Amorim's plans, but there is uncertainty over Mainoo's future. Given his contract expires in the summer of 2027, it includes an option to extend by 12 months, and there have so far been no developments over a new contract for the England international. Both men are unlikely to be short of suitors, and Mainoo has been linked by the Daily Mail with a switch to Chelsea. There is admiration for him at Stamford Bridge, but the same applies to many players, and nothing concrete is unfolding on that as yet. The Athletic has spoken to a number of people familiar with the situation to try to explain what's going on. Mainoo signed his first United contract in February 23, with terms expiring in 27 plus the option to extend for another year. How strong is Chelsea's interest in Mainoo? Chelsea hold Mainoo in high regard, and he is on a list of possible transfer targets, but it's no more than that right now. As you would expect, Chelsea have compiled a lengthy dossier of players they are looking at as potential signings for the future as they look to tweak their squad for this year and 2026. So, yes, big up. No, there's nothing. No, there's nothing to do with Garnacho and Chelsea. Absolutely not. He's just involved in the article as well. But there's nothing there. There's nothing there in terms of Garnacho and Chelsea. Yes, big up. This is an agent trying to get a good contract for Mainoo. What traits does he have that helps Chelsea? Yeah, they could pay 2 times the wages, but maybe they're not prepared to, or maybe they simply can't afford to. Why we need another midfielder? Yeah, what I would say to that is, right, you can't rely on Romeo Lavia, but we've had 5 midfielders in the past. We at one time we've had Lampard, Essien, Makaleli, Ballack, and John Obi Mikel all on the books. With the amount of games we're playing, with the rotation, injury, suspensions, and whatnot, that many 5 midfield players is not totally outrageous. Mainly not a midfielder. He'd be a squad player because Chile's as good as gone, and he's an OG club player from the old ownership and payment structure. Mainly's not going to walk in and get paid. No, he's not going to walk in and get paid more than Palmer. Absolutely not. No, United are in serious problems. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they absolutely are mudded. They are mudded, Man United. They've got big financial problems, and they're going to have problems potentially convincing players to stay. They really are. We had all those midfielders that we played with 3 at one time. We did play with 3 at one time, but even having 2 and having 3 in rotation, given Lavia's injury issues and the amount of games we're going to play, I don't think that would be outrageous. And yeah, as Luke says here, because of Lavia's injury issues, I think you would look. You don't think that Lavia is going to have these problems for his whole career. But given that right now we can't rely on him, is it ridiculous to think that 5 midfielders is too many? I personally don't think it is. I still think we bring in Delap and just recall Trevor. Santos is not going to be recalled. Trev being recalled is a possibility, as is Ugochukwu. A move for Delap, according to all the reports out there right now, is that it's very unlikely in January. I don't think Chelsea will move for Delap in January personally. Yeah, that is the problem. That's why you need to plan without those guys, and then it is a bonus. Then it's a bonus when they are available. So that's the reality here. But continuing with what is being said in this article, the teenager is not yet seen as a priority for this month, and no bids have been made. But naturally, when it is a young England international of this caliber, it is a situation they will keep monitoring. With Romeo Lavia expected to return to the squad this weekend following a hamstring injury, Chelsea will have more options again to help Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. They've also earmarked Andre Santos to be part of the squad for the 25-26 campaign, although he has high-profile suitors in Europe, with his season-long loan at Strasbourg coming to an end. I mean, we better not sell Santos. That would be really, really poor. But that is the latest. There's interest there. There's nothing more than that right now. It's clear that United are open to selling if suitable offers come in. Mainoo is negotiating a new contract. Obviously, maybe you've seen this classic tactic before. Use interest from other clubs as leverage to get yourself a better deal. We know how all this works. I don't know how much he would cost. Yeah, absolutely true. Absolutely true on that front. But I mean, look, Mainoo and Chelsea. How much sense does it? How much sense does it really make? Part of me feels like it makes a reasonable amount of sense. Other parts of me is thinking, with the amount of money it would potentially cost, would we not be better off investing in other areas of the squad? That's what I would potentially be looking at. Is that money that you might earmark out for a Kobbie Mainoo? Is that maybe better spent elsewhere? Do we need a fifth midfielder? What exactly are we thinking, guys? I like Kobbie Mainoo. I think he's a very good player, but is he what Chelsea need right now? Is absolutely a story. There's absolutely interest. Like Kobbie Mainoo is for sale at Man United. Ornstein doesn't just make shit up. This is a legit story. Now, whether it goes anywhere, that is another question. But Ornstein doesn't make stuff up. He's absolutely legit 100%. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it develops. Do we need a more physical central midfield player to come in? I don't really know entirely who I would be looking to go for. That's the difficult thing. Get Santos back, sure, absolutely. But, only look at Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia and Santos as a very good quartet of midfield players. And maybe if Renato Veiga stays or whatever, you could have him as a fifth choice to fill in emergencies, maybe. I don't know for sure. But, I mean, there's conflicting, would I take Andre Santos over Kobbie Mainoo? Yeah, I probably would, in all fairness. But if that was the choice, if Mainoo coming in meant Santos leaving, I don't think we need Mainoo when we've already got Andre Santos. But if we decided to go for Kobbie Mainoo, would I be against it? No, I wouldn't be against it. We've got some very, very good young midfield players in Santos and Romeo Lavia. But yeah, I mean, if Mainoo reportedly wants around 200 grand a week, he's a good talent, but expecting to be paid that at Man United and getting those kind of wages so early in his career, that again would just go to show how symptomatic it is of United's chronic mismanagement of young players being paid ridiculous amounts of money before they've even achieved anything in the game. That is systematic with the problem at Manchester United. But Mainoo and Chelsea, it's one to keep an eye on. It's one that I wouldn't turn my nose up at. But it's one where I think, yeah, do you know what? We could maybe do something. Who knows? There absolutely are people that are big fans of Kobbie Mainoo at Chelsea. But how much sense does a move for Kobbie Mainoo really make? And that's what I'm struggling with. When you've got an Andre Santos already at the club, do you also then need to go and sign a Kobbie Mainoo as well? I don't know. Is my honest answer on that front? I'm a little bit unsure on it personally, but it could be an interesting one, people. It could be an interesting one. By the way, guys, 100 people in here already. Smash the like button. Run up the subscribers as well. We're only on 32 likes with 100 in the building. Let's keep it moving, guys. Get those likes up to well over 50. What are you lot saying in the chat? Mainoo's agent is who's stirring the pot. Chelsea did no. Chelsea are interested in Kobbie Mainoo. That is true. But of course, I think we've got to take these things with a pinch of salt when players are negotiating a new contract and you see links to another team. Generally, it indicates that they're trying to get more money out of the club for their existing contract. Yeah, it would be an all-timer meltdown. Yeah, look, that is also a possibility as well. Maybe we might play with a midfield 3 and 2 8s going forward. There is a possibility with that. Absolutely. Absolutely, it's a possibility. Get Trev back. He's as good as Guehi. Yeah, look, for me, getting Trev back, I think is makes more sense. What else are people saying in the chat about Kobbie Mainoo? Bro, look, I'm not saying that Chelsea are signing Kobbie Mainoo, but the interest is legit. If you want to think it's not, then that's fine. It doesn't mean interest doesn't mean signing, but Chelsea admire Kobbie Mainoo and are fans of Kobbie Mainoo. That is fact. He would probably go for football reasons, but he may also go for financial reasons. Now, Chelsea are not going to pay Kobbie Mainoo £200,000 a week. He wouldn't potentially walk into the football club and be earning more money than Cole Palmer. Let's be real here. Let's not, chat utter nonsense. Brian, big up my guy. I hope you're doing well. What else? Yeah, no, yeah, I think that's what we've all agreed. Yeah, look, this is my thing, right? Forget about Kobbie Mainoo, right? For a moment. 5 midfield options when you're going to be hopefully competing on multiple fronts with a lot of games coming up. That rotation is going to be key. And when you can't guarantee the fitness of Romeo Lavia, you're effectively with 3 options and someone else would be the 4th. And if Lavia can get himself fit and readily available, then that's a big bonus to what we're looking to do. I don't think there can be any complaints about that whatsoever, guys. I don't think there can be any complaints whatsoever about that sort of thing. I really don't. So I've got no issue having 5 midfield options. I think it would actually probably be beneficial to us in one way. We have to use an incentive like UCL football. Yep, of course. Who leaves Chelsea? We're going to get into that. There's going to be quite a few leaving, I'd imagine. Selling Nkunku, buy Delap, get Trev and or Guehi, sell Dewsbury-Hall, Cassidy and Carney. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts there. Look, Palmer knows Mainoo very well. They both grew up in Manchester together. I've got no idea whether that would be legit or not. But yeah, look, interest is real, but make no mistake about it. It is just interest right now. Chelsea do admire Kobbie Mainoo, but anything, in terms of a move with Kobbie Mainoo to Chelsea is a considerable way off happening and may actually never happen anyway. But the interest is there. And with Chelsea on the transfer window, never say never. We have seen stranger things happen. Obviously, Mainoo's not speaking to other clubs right now, but let's wait and see. But I suspect that he will end up signing a new deal at United, and it's the standard agents talk to try and get more money out of the club for a better deal. That is the reality of the situation right now, as far as I'm concerned with that. So let's wait and see on that front. But we have Andre Santos. We don't need Mainoo. It's not about needing. I think it would be. I think we do need another midfield player. And whether it's Mainoo or someone else, I think another midfield player is required. I do fully believe another midfield player is required. Whether others think that or not is down to them. But I think a new midfield player is required. People forget, SD said 4 windows, and now they're demanding more time and more signing buying players for PSR reason. Yeah, look, there've been a lot of mistakes made by the sporting directors. I will not shy away from that. I've openly said that on a number of occasions. A lot of good things have been done, but also a number of mistakes have been made. And as I referenced yesterday, the fact that we spent a lot of money and we're still so short in so many positions is not a good look. It's not a good look for the football club. It's not a good look, guys. That's the reality. It's not a good look. Thing for me that we need to be clear on with possible transfers: are we acquiring players to guarantee us top 4, or are we just filling in the gaps in our squad due to injury? Well, yeah, there is obviously a part of that, filling in the gaps in the squad with injury. Make no mistake about it. There is part of that. Guys, keep smashing the likes. We're 7 away from 50. Run it up. But look, I think this month would be maybe injury cover for sure, because I think it's very difficult to move the needle in January. But with other options, yeah, maybe. Bro, Belaber's not happening from Brighton. No chance. I absolutely agree on that. No, I think sometimes I think with certain deals it's felt like that, but then with other deals that we've done, I think there is a plan. Whether you agree with the plan or not, yeah, potentially. Yes, big up. We have Lavia Enzo. Yeah, we do. But we also, at a point in time, had Lampard, Essien, Makaleli, Ballack, and John Obi Mikel all on the books. I don't see an issue with having 5 really good midfield options, particularly given Lavia's fitness issues and particularly given the amount of games we're going to play, Champions League, and all that sort of thing. You want to have as many quality options available to you as possible, in my view. But whether we're going to get those or not, let's see. Yeah, it would be an all-timer meltdown. It would be an all-timer meltdown from United fans if we were able to get hold of Kobbie Mainoo. But yeah, that's a long way off, guys. I don't personally see that happening, and certainly not happening anytime soon. But that is the latest on Chelsea and Kobbie Mainoo. Now, moving into another player who could be coming in, and that player is Marc Guehi. But as has been reported yesterday after we finished the show, Crystal Palace are very reluctant to lose Guehi this month, and Fabrizio reporting that it is going to be a difficult deal to do. Crystal Palace have no intention to lose Marc Guehi in January, so Chelsea knows it won't be an easy one. They could use Trevor Chalobah's recall clause in the negotiation. Chelsea made some contact to explore this. Now, look, there's no denying that signing Guehi is going to be tricky. It's going to be very, very tricky. Palace don't want to lose him, but Chelsea have got an opportunity with their sell-on clause to get themselves a pretty decent deal And if Palace are asking for 70 70 mil, then the 20% we've got would take it down to sort of that 55, 56 million pound mark, which we were discussing yesterday, which I actually think for a 24-year-old England international who's proven at Premier League level, I don't think that's actually, an outrageous price to pay for a player of that quality. Yep, 18 months left on the contract as well. Now, it would be a year left in the summer. So again, maybe you would look to do something more towards the summer. I don't know. But it depends. It depends how hard Chelsea push for it, right? Because people are saying, oh, Guehi won't leave in January. If Chelsea push hard, generally speaking, when we go for a player, we tend to get them. So I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, is Guehi, the main man? Is he the main man? I don't know for sure. But if he's the main target, then you either do what you can to bring him in January, or you get him in the summer. But I'm just not sure whether Guehi is Chelsea's number one target, or whether Chelsea are looking at Guehi as an opportunity in the market. And it is an opportunity in the market because we've got Trevor Chalobah in play and we've got a 20% sell-on clause in play. So that does make it, I know it's still a difficult deal to do, but that does make it more appealing. I feel, I think that makes it more appealing personally. But it's going to be tough. I don't know what Palace are looking for. They're not going to get anywhere near as much money as they think they're going to get for him, or they want to get for him. And look, Guehi, by all accounts, is open to a move back to Chelsea. It just depends on the logistics of the deal. It depends how difficult Palace are going to make it, and it's also going to depend on how much Marc Guehi is going to push for the move. If Guehi wants to move to Chelsea and wants to come back to the football club, and he tells Palace that, then that makes the deal a lot easier to be done, and there would certainly be a deal there to be done. But for me personally, I don't know. I like Marc Guehi. I don't know if I'm fully convinced on Marc Guehi, though. Would it be more beneficial for Chelsea, maybe just to recall Trev, see how he gets on, maybe sell him in the summer? Look, Guehi will have a year left on his deal in the summer. You can still use Chalobah as part of the deal in the summer, potentially. And if you decide Guehi's still your guy in the summer, then you make that move. But I just wonder whether there could be some better options out there potentially at centre back. But again, that is tricky. What sort of better options at centre back are there? I'm not entirely sure, guys. I'm not entirely sure what better options there are at centre back. I'm not saying Guehi's like some unbelievable centre back, by the way, but the sort of calibre and the level of that we're going for, how many of them are actually considerably better than him? I don't know. Is the honest answer to that? I don't know, guys. So yeah, that's gonna be what Chelsea need to decide is Guehi the main guy, or do we actually think we got better options that we trust a little bit more? Bronbreaker, Jonathan Tah is not coming. He's either going to go to Bayern Munich on a free, I think, or there was talk of a move to Barcelona. Kim Min Jae, I don't see it, bro. No, these aren't happening, people. These are just not happening. Thomas Araujo, I think, is going to be very difficult. Bastoni's just not happening, guys. I get it; these are good players, and you like these guys, but I think we need to realise that this level of player is not coming. He's not coming. Bastoni is not coming to Chelsea. Neither is Jules Koundé. Neither is Ronald Araujo. Like these guys simply aren't coming. Okay. As soon as we can accept that, and as soon as we're honest with ourselves about that, then the easier it will be for us. To be perfectly honest, that's what I'm That's what that's what I'm saying, guys. If you disagree with me, no problem at all. But we're just not getting that caliber of player. Chelsea buying back academy graduate that they had let go is just stupid business. I get what you're saying, but at the time, I don't think anyone had any issue with Marc Guehi being sold. But that's why you kind of put these little clauses in the deals and stuff. Not every academy player is going to make it. I get it, why it paints a perception that if you then go back and buy these academy players back, you do end up looking a little bit stupid. But that's the way it goes, guys. Some you win, some you lose in a transfer market. Sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes you do make mistakes. Yeah, of course we want a top centre back. Of course we do, but we have to be realistic with the way that the club's going with our recruitment policy. Is that we are unlikely to sign a Virgil van Dijk type centre back. That's the point. That's the point that I'm making, guys. We're unlikely to sign a Virgil van Dijk centre back. We're not going to get that caliber of player. I don't see it. So let's wait and see. I mean, look, Antonio Silva's another one. I mean, I think he might have dropped out of favour a little bit at Benfica recently, but Benfica are really difficult to negotiate with. We know that with the Enzo Fernandez deal. We know how difficult Rui Costa is to negotiate with, and he drives a hard bargain and whatnot. So there aren't any better, but you just have to look where they are. No one's saying that they're looking to kids to solve the problem, but I don't think that Marc Guehi would be a bad signing. I think Marc Guehi is a very good centre-back, and I think Marc Guehi would start for a lot of Premier League sides. This is a 24-year-old England international with a lot of Premier League experience, and at 55 million pounds, I think that is a very, very good deal in this market for this caliber of player. Does he make Chelsea better? Yes. Does he make the squad better? Yes, he does. He knows the football club. There wouldn't be that much of an adaptation period. He knows the Premier League. For me, I think this is good. Do I think that the wage? I don't think the wage structure is holding us back. I don't think the wage structure is holding us back. Look at the players that we've been able to sign with the wage structure, and it's not capping your earning potential. It means you just have to work harder to earn more money, which is the way that it should be. Why should you come in and just be paid loads of money regardless of how well the team's doing? I think that is one good thing that this ownership have done is to get the wage structure right back under control. And we are now operating a much better wage structure. And, and that way, that players actually want to be at the football club rather than just signing for the money. Well, let's see, concerned. Let's see. But I'd be very honest with you. I highly doubt on any account that Chelsea are going to sign Araujo from Barcelona. Guys, we're 134 in the building. Big up to everyone that's locked in this lunchtime. But we are only on 54 likes, which is piss poor. So you need to smash that like button, guys. You need to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here as well. Let's get these likes up, people. We should be well towards 100 likes, and we're only just over halfway. So please do hit the like. It's free. It takes seconds to do. And it really helps me out more than you can believe. So please do that, guys. I would greatly appreciate it. All I'm asking for is a little bit of your help. No money, none of this, none of that. Just one click of the thumbs up button. And that would make me happy, people. That goes a long way. Goes a long way. Bro, low balling and Benfica, that does not work. By the way, people, I'm sorry I'm not getting through all these things in the chat. I can't get through them all. I'll get through as many as I can. Bro, low balling and Benfica is just not a thing. That just is a waste of everyone's time. A waste of everyone's time. Yeah, look, if we have to pay Sterling off and we have to pay Chilwell off, then I think at the end of the day, that is what that's what you have to do. That is what you have to do at the end of the day. And I wouldn't have a huge issue with it, if I'm being brutally honest. I wouldn't have a huge issue with it. We need to get these guys off the books. And if that's the only way of doing it, then that's the only way of doing it, and it's no problem. It's no problem as far as I'm concerned. If there's lack of suitors, and there are lack of suitors, we're not going to get any suitors for Raheem Sterling, and there's virtually no suitors for Ben Chilwell either. But just to round out on this Marc Guehi section, Palace are reluctant to sell or don't want to sell, and that's kind of, there's not really any further updates on Marc Guehi. But I think Marc Guehi, is a top player. He's got versatility as well, by the way. He's equally good on both feet. He can play all three positions in the back line to a good level. And there's a number of things that he's very good at. Winning ground duels, is a big plus. He's got good tackling. He's got, a good skill set. I think his skill set would suit more playing on the front foot like we do. Of course, lack of height is an issue, no doubts, but long term, he could be a perfect backup centre-back for all three centre-back roles. That for me is a big plus to Marc Guehi, a big plus to Marc Guehi. But I think he would be the right fit for Chelsea. But again, Palace are going to make it very, very difficult. We found out with Michael Olise negotiations that it was very difficult. Marc Guehi is reportedly valued at £55 million. But let's just quickly, guys, we're going to dive. I just wanted to dive into a little bit on Chelsea's hunt for a centre-back and other potential replacements. We do have an article in The Athletic detailing this. So let's just quickly go through that. I mean, people, if money was no object and you could go and sign whatever centre-back you wanted, put some names in the chat. Put some names. I know we've seen a few, but guys, I want you to get your names in the chat of players that you would like to see Chelsea sign in terms of centre-back options. So yeah, there's an article here. Maresca's search for a centre-back answer in the absence of Fofana led him to start Achimpong versus Palace, but Guehi's a player Chelsea are monitoring. Is there a solution in the January window? So there are some options that are listed here in this Athletic article. Let's have a look at them, guys. Let's have a look at them. Let me just quickly get this article up. And let's wait and see. But Guehi, for sure, is not the only option, guys. He is not the only option. There are many options. I mean, even someone like Laporte at Al Nassr. I mean, is that difficult to get him out? Is that difficult to get him out of there? I don't know. Is that difficult to do? So no one knows exactly when Wesley Fofana will be fit to play for Chelsea again. Yet we know that. Let's have a look at the other options. So Josh Achimpong's an option. So it's something that Chelsea are considering. A remarkable development given the lengths to which the club went to encourage Chalobah to find a new permanent home last summer. Chalobah has done well on loan at Palace after an injury-disrupted start following a productive defensive partnership with Marc Guehi and Maxence Lacroix at the rear of Oliver Glasner's improving side. He's even chipped in with 3 goals and 12 Premier League appearances. Chalobah could not provide exactly what Fofana does alongside Colwell, but he is flexible enough to provide a solid option at centre-back or right-back, where Gusto continues to soak up the bulk of the Premier League minutes due to Reece James's unavailability. But recalling him would raise immediate questions about why Tosin was signed on a free transfer last summer and about the level of faith in Achimpong. It would also undermine the point of the Palace loan, which is to rebuild Chalobah's transfer value to a point where a credible buyer emerges for him. The twist, which is buy a new centre-back. Guehi is fast, strong, respectable in the air and classy on the ground, both in terms of how he reads situations defensively and how he passes around and through pressure. He is a leader despite his relative youth and has a very good fitness record. No small consideration for a club like Chelsea, who are already managing several persistent injury doubts in their squad. He also has a natural preference for operating as a left-sided centre-back despite being primarily right-footed. That does not necessarily rule him out as a suitable partner for Colwell. This is what I was saying, but it does mean there may be cleaner fits elsewhere in the market. But are any likely to be available in January? The winter window is not typically the moment for making premium upgrades, not least because selling clubs tend to have different priorities during the season. Palace have plenty of reason to keep Guehi and ensure they maintain their Premier League status before addressing his situation in the summer. The transfer market is always tantalising by nature, but Chelsea cannot expect it to solve their Fofana problem right now. And yeah, that is true. We can't expect the Fofana problem to be solved right now. And yeah, bro, we're not getting him. He's not coming. Not coming. They've been in trouble for 5 years. They haven't sold any of their best players. De Jong would go before Araujo. Yeah, look, players are always linked with Barcelona. And the reality of the situation is, guys, that very few of them actually end up leaving. Very few of them actually end up leaving. But yeah, guys, 65 likes, 130 in the building. Keep running those likes up, guys. We've got to get this to 100 likes. It's 35 more likes. We are very, very close now to the 100. So let's go and let's go and get it done, people. Run it up. Nico Schlotterbeck, I don't think so. Yeah, and this is the thing, people. And Matt makes a good point there. I haven't seen a single name yet as a better value signing than Guehi. Club captain, Prem proven, fit, and a fair price. Exactly. This is my point. Like, January is very, very difficult to do business. So there doesn't seem to be any situation that is going to be worse than the like. I'm not seeing any better value for money than Guehi. Now, wages could potentially be a problem, but if he wanted to come back, then I don't see any issue in that. I don't see any issue in that. And what better value for money signing at centre back for a good level centre back are you going to get than Marc Guehi in January? I'm not seeing them. I am not seeing them, guys. I'm simply not seeing them. So this is a very, very good position for us to be in right now. A very good position. But we're going to move away from centre backs and we're going to talk about more outgoings at Chelsea Football Club. And we're going to start with Christopher Nkunku because people were linking in with PSG. And according to Fabrizio Romano, there's nothing concrete or serious from PSG for Christopher Nkunku, but he could still leave somewhere else. That's my information, especially if he goes to Chelsea and asks to leave. Now, there is a Matt Law article doing a lot of stuff about Chelsea outgoings, and he's got a little bit on Christopher Nkunku there. And I suspect that we could maybe be ramping up to Christopher Nkunku saying that he might wish to move on. Fund move for a central defender with a host of sales this month as the club weigh up a number of options, including Crystal Palace captain Marc Guehi. Let me just quickly get this article up. And we'll go through it because Christopher Nkunku is a really interesting one because there is interest in him. He's not yet said he wants to leave the football club, but it could well be going that way. Forward Christopher Nkunku has played most of his football in the Europa Conference League, is thought to be open to a move away from Stamford Bridge either this month or in the summer. Chelsea would most likely listen to offers for Nkunku, given Felix can fill in as a false nine and with Marc Guehi progressing well. It remains to be seen if Nkunku's exit would prompt them to look at signing a new striker this month. I think if Nkunku were to leave this month, you would have to bring someone else in. You would have to. You can't just leave it open and be like, oh yeah, we'll just muddle on by with Guehi and Joao Felix. We can't do that. If Nkunku leaves, which is going to be best in my opinion for all parties, then you have to bring someone else in. Maybe you go and look at exploring a move for Liam Delap, or you try and do someone on loan or a short-term deal, or just something, even if it was Randall Kolumawani as part of a bit of a swap deal or something along those lines with PSG. I don't think that's the case personally. But yeah, if you let Christopher Nkunku go, there is no way that you cannot bring anyone else in. You simply have to bring someone else in. Look, Duran as well, again, another one, but I think we maybe missed the boat with him. Personally, I think the summer was the time to get him. Maybe at some point in the future, we'll go back to him, but I don't think we'd go back to him 6 months later, especially given he signed a new contract and would be notoriously difficult to sign and would be more expensive. I'm not sure where I've seen that. Cunha's signed a new deal with Wolves. There's reportedly meant to be a release clause in that Cunha deal. So maybe we do see, Matthias Cunha on the move, but I don't see him being on the move with Chelsea, though. I don't see him being on the move with Chelsea. But let's wait and see, guys. I like Duran as well. We're going to get on to Bino Gittins and Dortmund. No, we're not recalling Broja. Broja's at Everton. We're absolutely not recalling Broja. But Nkunku, again, for me personally, he should go this month and we bring another attacker in. That's going to be best for all parties. But I personally don't see that happening now. If Nkunku wants to leave, I think he would have already said he wanted to leave. Why would you waste time? January's a short window. I think Nkunku would have already said that he wants to leave the football club. If that was going to be the case this month, I think he already would have said that. I think he already would have said that. So let's wait and see on that one, guys. We're not going to swap Nkunku with Sesko. Nkunku is not going to go back to RB Leipzig. I wouldn't have thought. Sesko is still, an option that Chelsea would look at. But that's the latest with Christopher Nkunku. We're still waiting, guys. We're still waiting. Bro, if Man City are in the race, Chelsea are not going to get Marmoush. I know he's doing very well at Eintracht Frankfurt this season. But City, that deal looks like they're going to wrap something up for the summer. I'm not saying they're going to agree it now, but, I'm sure conversations have taken place. I think Marmoush will be a City player next season. But if Nkunku does go, then we need to be bringing someone else in. Well, I'm just not sure how easy that's going to be. Not for financial reasons, but just to create space in the squad. We absolutely do need outgoings before incomings. Now, obviously, the centre-back situation is maybe a little bit different, but we still need to get rid of Axel Disasi. We still need a proper number 9. Absolutely. There's no escaping that fact. We do desperately need a proper number 9. I'm a big fan of Matthias Cunha as well, but I don't see it. I don't see that happening. Matthias Cunha and Chelsea. I personally not seeing it, but I don't know. You never know, people. You do never know, guys. But let's move away from that and let's move on to other news in regards to Chelsea outgoings, because there is plenty of news, and one which is not a surprise, but one that kind of highlights the problems with Chelsea's transfer business. And that is that Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, we discussed it, there had been links with him potentially leaving the football club. We spoke about it a little bit yesterday, but it is now confirmed Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall can leave Chelsea this month. Doesn't mean he will, but he can leave Chelsea this month if a good offer comes in. Now, this move is nothing. This move doesn't reflect badly on Dewsbury-Hall. It's not his fault by any accounts. Of course, you're going to take a move to join Chelsea. I just hate to think what level of promises and lies were told to him to make the move, because it's evident that this has just been an absolute disaster on all accounts. And unfortunately, Dewsbury-Hall to Chelsea has been a complete waste of everyone's time. And as I mentioned, it's not Dewsbury-Hall's fault, but it's the same with the Felix signing, because pure profit was part of the Dewsbury-Hall conversation. And we've got to be honest here, guys. Player trading, in theory, might sound great, but the reality is that player trading, more often than not, never turns out well for one side. And KDH is exactly the same. I, to this day, still cannot work out what's the point of signing Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall was. And this is not his fault, but I dread to think what sort of promises, what sort of lies were told to Dewsbury-Hall when he signed, because whatever he was told clearly hasn't materialized. Clearly, as their promises have been gone back on. I thought Dewsbury-Hall would actually play a bit of a decent role for Chelsea. I honestly thought he did. I wouldn't even categorize him in the Drinkwater one because he's been signed and he's not really been given much of a chance. You know, I don't really know what the point of the Dewsbury-Hall signing was. You know, I think he's a good level Premier League player. He probably should have gone to Brighton. We paid £30 million for him. We should have. We should have, we should have just let him join Brighton. That would have been a far better move for him, and that would have really helped him out. And now, do I think he's going to? I did think he was. I honestly thought he was going to be. I'm not saying a really important player, but I thought he'd play a reasonably important role. You know, since he knew the system and whatnot, but it just hasn't worked out. It was just a pointless signing. I don't understand it. But I think it's fair to say that, as I've said before, guys, with this news coming in of players being listened to for options, Dewsbury-Hall, Renato Veiga potentially, which we'll get onto, it's a strange one. It's a strange one because Chelsea now opens offers for Dewsbury-Hall. Felix has started 3 league games. We're considering recalling Trevor Chalobah, who was frozen out in the summer. And I think that the good start to the season we've made is definitely covering over the cracks of a really weird and, quite frankly, shite summer transfer window overall. There were some good bits done in the transfer window, don't get me wrong, with like Jadon Sancho, Pedro Neto and whatnot. But I think the good start to the season has masked over just a really odd transfer window in the summer, which didn't really make very much sense whatsoever. Guys, what also doesn't make sense is why we're not on 100 likes. We're on 80 likes. We need 20 more likes. So smash that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do, guys. Run it up. Let's get this to 100 likes. Would really appreciate it. So let's make sure that we get it done, guys. Get it to 100 likes. My ideal January transfer window would be sell Christopher Nkunku, sign Liam Delap, and bring in Marc Guehi, and obviously sell others that are on the list. That would be my ideal January window. Whether that's going to happen or not, I think is unlikely. People. Yeah, and this is what I was saying at the time. People didn't want to listen to me. Fofana is very important to how this Chelsea team play, but people didn't want to listen to what I was saying. They didn't want to hear it. They did not want to hear it. But what can I say? But yeah, Dewsbury-Hall, look, I don't know what offers are going to come in. He could end up staying, but it's a strange one. If he goes back to Leicester, West Ham are interested. I just don't understand it. Maresca, look, Dewsbury-Hall came in and he's never really been given a chance in the Premier League to show what he's been capable of doing, even 10 minutes. And the same thing with Veiga. I don't really understand it. But I tell you what does speak volumes, though, and points to maybe Maresca not wanting him. I don't know, but sending a £30 million signing probably out on loan 6 months after bringing him in, especially when you need midfield cover, what does that say about about Chelsea's thoughts on Dewsbury-Hall. You know, we need midfield cover, and you'd rather maybe recall Leslie Ugochukwu than use a £30 million signing from the summer. For me, that speaks volumes on how Dewsbury-Hall is viewed, on the signing in general. And it's just another one of them ones that, what the fuck were we doing? What were we doing? It really didn't make very much sense at all, guys. I have to be perfectly honest. It didn't make sense. I wouldn't say he was another Amari Kellyman, because he has actually been seen in squads and he has actually played a few games, whereas Kellyman is just, I don't know. But I mean, I honestly, guys, I would have thought that Dewsbury-Hall would at least be providing a bit of cover for Enzo and Caicedo, and yet 6 months after spending 30 million quid on him, he's probably going to leave, and he hasn't even started a Premier League game. He's also worked with Maresca before, where he was the key player. So what's gone wrong here? What's gone wrong here is what I would like to know. What has gone wrong with the Dewsbury-Hall signing? Because there's a lot of things that don't make sense. Because he's not. I'm not understanding the situation at all right now. I am not understanding the situation. It doesn't make any sense. It was a sporting director signing. Dewsbury-Hall apparently had been, on the sporting director's radar for a while now. It wasn't like an impulse buy, but we really went last minute to hijack that deal when he was already at Brighton about to have his medical. So we went to quite big lengths to get him. And then 6 months later, he's surplus to requirements and we don't even want him. That's what I'm confused about, guys. That is what I'm confused about, and that's what I'm not understanding. That's the thing. Well, was it? No, probably not. What have we gained from signing Dewsbury-Hall? We've gained absolutely nothing, and we're going to take a hit on it. We're going to take a financial hit on a player. Look, and this is the problem. This is nothing against Dewsbury-Hall, the player. I think he's happy to be here. He seems like a good lad. He's generally happy to play. But it's just not worked out. And he's been obviously told a load of lies and has been promised certain things which the club maybe had absolutely zero intention of fulfilling. And that is what we have to be really honest about here. Bro, I would have taken Ivan Toney in the summer. People that tune in regularly know that I'm a big Ivan Toney fan and I absolutely would have taken him. You just know that if KDH was balling at Brighton, Chelsea would, cheap slime. You're absolutely spot on. Of course he would. Of course we would. That is the reality of the situation that we're dealing with. And yeah, look, the Dewsbury-Hall signing has looked like it being a waste of money, but he could still end up staying here. No offers have come in yet, but let's wait and see. There will be big mistakes. Not every signing will work. No, not every signing will work, but there's mistakes and then there's mistakes. That's the reality here. £30 million. Yeah. Yes, big up. No, thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah, we're well on the road to 15 to 16K now. I think we're on, what are we on? 15.1 something. Let's have a quick look, guys. We're on 15,157. Guys, keep subscribing to the channel. Let's get this as close to 15.2 as we can. We're about 40 away. Every new subscriber helps. So please do smash that subscribe button if you are new round here right now. That would be very much appreciated. And we're 12 likes away from 100, so run those up as well. What went wrong was Gallagher. Maresca needed someone else to replace Gallagher, and it backfired. Felix and KDH are here because we sold Gallagher. Well, no, KDH is not here because we sold Gallagher. Felix is here because we sold Gallagher. But we would have been, I know hindsight's a great thing, but we would have been better off not signing Felix, not signing Dewsbury-Hall, keeping Gallagher and signing a striker. That is what we would have been better off doing. But obviously, for whatever reason, alternative decisions were made, which are now looking like they were very, very shit decisions that were taken. That's we have to be honest about this, guys. We have to be honest about this. And it looks like some poor decisions were made. Simple as that. No, absolutely not happening. Absolutely not happening. But yeah, that's the letters of KDH. Big waste of money, unfortunately. It's not worked out at all. And he's free to leave this month if a good offer for both player and club comes in. So it's not guaranteed, no guarantee that he's leaving. But it's looking like it could well be heading that way for Dewsbury-Hall and Chelsea, which is a complete waste of everyone's time. I even think the Joao Felix signing is going that way as well. I even think Joao Felix is going that way as well. I can't understand the point of him, to be perfectly honest. No one's denying that he's not a good player, but he just falls into the same category. Waste of money, not needed, and he's not trusted. So when you factor in all them things, you sort of think, well, why was he signed? Why was he was signed for pure profit reasons at the end of the day? That's what it was. And it's the same with Felix. People think Felix is a good player, but I'm not seeing it personally. Yes, there's talent there, but for me, you're not winning. In my opinion, you are not winning an important game with Joao Felix in the starting lineup, and you're not going to rely on him to come off the bench to do something. He wasn't wanted by Atletico Madrid. He wasn't wanted by Barcelona. He wasn't wanted by Chelsea first time round. And people are just aesthetics merchants these days. We've done a couple of nice flicks here and there rather than looking at tangible end product, which he simply doesn't have. He simply doesn't have. He won La Liga, of course. He won La Liga with Atletico Madrid. I just don't think he's just been offered around Europe time after time after time. There's a reason why no clubs wanted him. There's a reason for it why no clubs wanted him. So, yeah, I'm sure I'm not putting that in the Dewsbury-Hall category, but it's not far away. It's not far away from it. It really isn't. Felix was about £45 million. So yeah, it's not quite in the Dewsbury-Hall category, but it's not a million miles off it. It's not a million miles off it. Guys, 7 likes away from 100 likes. Keep smashing the like button. We're almost there, people. Run it up, run it up. Someone in the chat, let me know when we are there. But another player who signed in the summer and looks like he could be on his way out is Renato Veiga. Signed for £12 million from Basel. He's played a handful of games. He's played every Conference League game, scored a couple of goals. He has looked reasonably impressive. There's no, he's not. This is my point, right? People keep saying this, but the evidence, which is a strong body of evidence, suggests otherwise. Why does no one trust him? Why does no one trust Joao Felix? Not trusted by Atletico Madrid, not trusted by Barcelona, not trusted by Chelsea first time round. There's a reason why if Felix is so good and this generational talent, which so many Felix fans say he is, why did absolutely no one want him? Why did no one want him? Please tell me that. No one wanted him, but apparently he's a good player. He's a good player in a luxury situation. Also, it's bad managers, so it's Simeone's fault. So it was Xavi's fault. So it was, at the end of the day, there's a recurring pattern here. And the only constant is Joao Felix in it. I want him to do well at Chelsea, but the reality of the situation is the idea of Felix, as I said, is way, way, way better than the actual reality of this guy. The reality of this guy is that he doesn't offer it very much. And yeah, he's got ability. He's got talent. But there's a reason why he's not getting chances, because he's not trusted and because he's probably not good enough at the end of the day. And he's not reaching the required levels. That is the reality of where we're at. The only reason we signed him was to get rid of Conor Gallagher. Felix is a luxury player. Yeah, sure, he's skillful, but that's not winning you games. You know, and that's the reality. But another player that could be leaving is Renato Veiga. I mean, we only signed him 12 months ago. Not even 12 months ago, 6 months ago. There's quite a lot of suitors coming for his name. Napoli, Juventus, Stuttgart, and now Wolves and Bournemouth are both interested in Veiga as Chelsea weigh up a number of offers or interest in a lot of the fringe players. Now, that is going to be interesting. I don't think we should let from Bournemouth have to buy Veiga if they pursued interest, as they already have Kepa on loan. Stuttgart, Napoli, and Juventus are also monitoring Veiga, who cost Chelsea 12 million in the summer. I actually like Veiga, but if it means selling him, getting a decent amount of money, and then reinvesting that money in another centre back, then yeah, maybe we go for it. Oh, am I moving in minus 4K, people? Fuck, am I looking a bit mad? Are we back? Are we back? Let's wait and see. Are we Stamford Bridge Wi-Fi settings? People, what's going on here? Are we back in the mix? Please let me know, guys. Please let me know if we're back in the mix. Oh, I'm good now. I was momentarily moving in minus 4K. But yeah, we're back. I was moving like Anthony. Yeah, very true. I would, to be honest, I'd be open to loaning Renato Veiga. I think that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea to send him on loan, guys. Last 2 likes to 100. Run it up. But I don't know. It's interesting. It is interesting because I actually like him. He's now a full Portugal international, so that probably increases his transfer value. I don't think we're going to go for a permanent one. I don't think we're going to go for a permanent transfer. Yes, big up to Pies. Hope you're doing well, bro. Yeah, permanent transfer for Renato Veiga in January, not for me. A loan deal, maybe, but a loan deal doesn't really do much. A loan deal doesn't really offer an awful lot. I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? Would I sell him? I don't know. That's the point. I don't think so. But for KDH and Veiga, if you were able to get decent money and reinvest it in a centre back, maybe reinvest it in a striker, then is that worth doing? That could be worth doing. I don't. Yeah, maybe that is worth doing. Maybe that's worth doing. No, I wouldn't. No, Felix is not going anywhere at the moment, guys. Felix is definitely not going anywhere. A loan move for Felix doesn't make sense, but a move for Renato Veiga does make sense. A move for Renato Veiga does make sense in some degree. He's not really playing that much at the moment. Maybe it would be more beneficial for him to go out on loan. We can. We've got international loan slots available, so I don't see why that's not why that's not the case. I think we could do that. I think we absolutely could do that. So let's wait and see on it, guys. Let's wait and see on it. Well, Kepa's going to go in the summer. That much is obvious. Look, I don't know what I'd do, because I think it's just a complete waste to sell him permanently. Would you get a profit on the £12 million you spent? Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's not going to go to Strasbourg because Santos is going to stay there, and we've already filled up 3 loan spots. Wasted money on Washington just for him to not score. No, Washington was. I don't know why we signed David Washington. That's another one of those where you just don't understand it. If we lose Chilwell this window, Veiga going makes no sense. Yep. Veiga going doesn't make much sense, because if we let Renato Veiga leave on loan, or you even sell him or whatever, where is your backup at left back? Because there is none. Right now, he is the backup at left back. Renato Veiga is the left back backup right now. So let's wait and see on that. It's interesting, people. It is interesting, but for me, I'd probably keep him, because you can guarantee what will happen, right? You loan out Veiga, and then, dare I say it, Cucurella gets injured, and you've got a big problem. You've got a big problem. That's the issue. You've got a big issue if you loan out your only left back cover, and then you've literally got Cucurella at left back, and then the other options are you just you use Malo Gusto there every so often. We can't be doing that. We cannot be doing that. We cannot be taking that risk. I mean, someone talked about, I think someone mentioned in the chat, Chelsea's name with Nuno Mendes. Again, the injury record's a little bit of a concern, but is Nuno Mendes a target for Chelsea? I'm not sure. I think I've seen it reported somewhere, or someone mentioned it in the chat. Let me see if I can find anything on that. But I do like going forward, and I think more likely the summer, Chelsea need to find a left back backup for Marc Cucurella. No, we're not selling Veiga necessarily, but he's attracting interest, and a loan move is very much a possibility. Very much a possibility for Renato Veiga, although nothing's confirmed. Bro, Chilwell's not part of the plans, and Chilwell is well and truly frozen out. Guys, keep smashing the likes with 106. Let's get this up to 110. So I think that's something that definitely needs to be looked at. Definitely needs to be looked at. So let's see. Hincapi's again is another player. No, bro, Caleb Wiley's not ready yet. He's not ready to play for Chelsea. Don't forget they want to sell Cucurella. Not this summer they didn't. It was the previous one. They were looking at selling him. But we do need to bring another left back in at some point. I'm not sure if Renato Veiga is the answer. To be really honest on that one, I'm not sure if he's the answer. Yeah, I'm not really sure what Washington has benefited from by being at Chelsea. I don't think he's benefited by anything. Don't think he's benefited from anything. So let's wait and see. Yeah, no, he did almost go. Take on the Mainoo situation. The interest from Chelsea is legit, but it's very much, in my view, just agent talk to get him a bigger contract at the end of the day. Chilwell is out, no doubt. He needs to leave, costing us way too much. Yeah, no, Chilwell does need to leave. Yeah, the squad management and squad building has not been as good as maybe what many people potentially made it out to be. That's the reality that we're dealing with right now, guys. So yeah, you can develop 10. You can't develop 10 to 15 youngsters in one go. But yeah, look, Veiga is another one who's attracting interest from Bournemouth and attracting interest from Wolves as well. Will Chelsea loan him out? I don't think so, just because we've got no cover at left back. And if we don't sign a centre back, then we might need to use him as a potential option. Axel Disasi is another one that can potentially leave the club this month. Whether he is or not, I don't know what offers might come in for him. But yeah, there's plenty, guys. There's plenty going on. A lot more in terms of outgoings than incomings. But I think we can expect a bit of movement. I think we can expect a little bit of movement on this front. I think we can expect some movement on this front. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. But guys, Charlie, any update on shirt sponsor? No, there's no update on the front of shirt sponsor, guys. Nothing. Yeah, nothing on the nothing imminent on a front of shirt sponsor as far as I'm aware. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. Guys, 2 more likes to 110, so smash that like. Yeah, Disasi could leave the club. Absolutely, Disasi could leave the club for sure. 100% Disasi could leave the football club, no doubt about it. So let's wait and see. Let me just quickly check if there's anything else last minute coming in. I don't think there is, guys. I don't think there is. No, I don't think there is, people. Right, I am going to round this one out now. Big up to everyone that's tuned in this afternoon. Greatly appreciate all the support as always, people. Keep smashing that like button on the way out. Subscribe if you're new around here. All that good stuff. Big love to the chat. Big love to the community. I'll be back again 1 p.m. tomorrow, day 9 of the January transfer window with all the latest Chelsea news. I'll be back later with either an upload or live if there's any major serious developments. But if not, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Appreciate the support as always. Big yourselves up. Catch you lot 1 p.m. UK time tomorrow. Up the Chels. Smash the like, subscribe, and peace.